Welcome to Master of English. Welcome to another live class. Yes, I've taken. Good evening, Suasis. I've taken the chapter Stopping by Woods for the revised or the reduced course of 2021. Hope you are enjoying all the classes. We'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes and after I'll start the class. And here, what happens? The poet is Robert Frost. Yes, who is the poet? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Tapas, good evening. Gavin, good evening. Rahul, good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Everybody is there. Yeah. Yes, so maximum students are there. Good evening, Santanu. Good evening. Yeah, sorry guys, there was network error. Yeah, Bhupendra, good evening. Network error was there. That's why there was a moment I paused. Network connection. Sorry, I'm extremely sorry. It's not my fault. The fault of network. Network connection is very poor where I'm residing now, rightly now. So hope you are doing well. So let us start the chapter. Students are there waiting for the class. So the poet, let me tell you about the poet. The poet is Robert Frost. कवि के रॉबर्ट फ्रस्ट एंड रॉबर्ट ली फ्रस्ट पूरा नाम कविंगर अचिंत्य गुड इवनिंग भूपेन्द्र गुड इवनिंग पूरा ना हूँ कविंगर पूरा ना कौन रॉबर्ट ली फ्रस्ट शिवाशीष गुड इवनिंग अगेन Robert Lee Frost and most popular and critically acclaimed American poet. He was an American. Rajesh, good evening. So one of the most eminent American poet was Robert Lee Frost. स्वागत रंजन सराफ गुड इवनिंग से 1874 मसीह जन्म होते राइटली 1963 देहांत होता कवि अमेरिकन पोएट थे acclaimed American poet, not only American poet. He was one of the most acclaimed American poet. Acclaimed माने समस्तଙ୍କ द्वारा प्रशंसित आदृत जहाँ को लोके ग्रहण करुले most acclaimed American poet. Appreciation. Good evening. Hope you are doing well. And life and his command, for his he is highly regarded for his realistic depiction. Dambrudar. Good evening. Realistic depiction says prakrita jinsa sabu ko कहते he was writing on real things, natural things, not false things. Realistic poet, and he was also he had canvassed the American colloquial speech. He was reputed for writing American colloquial speech, what we are calling slang, normal language जहाँ हमें local language रे व्यवहार करचु सी भाषा पाई से प्रसिद्ध थे के रॉबर्ट ली फ्रॉस्ट. His poetry reveals a keen interest in the varying beauty. Others, good evening. Varying beauty, सुंदरतार प्रति छवि अंकित करता है. तांकर जो कविता सबो सत्य स्वरूप गुड इवनिंग तांकर कविता सबो प्रकृतिर छवि को अंकित है. प्रकृति को से सुंदर भाव निर्यास कर थांते तांकर सब कविता है के रॉबर्ट ली फ्रॉस्ट. And deeply meaningful joys and sorrows and ordinary men and women, and deeply meaningful. His all the writings, whatever writings are there of Robert Lee Frost are meaningful. माने शब्द समाहार एभली भाव रे शब्द संयोजन करन्ति छे अर्थ संबलित होता है. गुड इवनिंग रिया. Let no problem Satya, no problem. So let us see the poem. Which chapter? Yes, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Satya, Stopping by Woods, the last poem of first year. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. For the late students who joined late, good evening over here. I'm telling them that today I've taken the poem, last poem of your syllabus. Okay, which syllabus? +2 first year reduced syllabus, or you can say the revised syllabus of 2021. That is your last poem. 4 poems are there. I have completed 3 poems. You can see those poems. Live classes are there. Ashish, good evening. And this is the last poem. That is your Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. By whom? By Robert Frost. Okay. So I have already told you the introduction of the poet. Okay, let's see what are the things that are there inside the poem. Let us go to the warm-up section. Okay, so as you know, do you know this great poem was favorite of Jawaharlal Nehru, and this poem, you know, one of the favorite of our late Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. এই কবিতাটা আমার যে পূর্বতন প্রধানমন্ত্রী ଥିଲେ জওয়াহরলাল নেহেরু তাଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଫେଭରାଇଟ୍ କବିତା ଥିଲା, ଅତି ପ୍ରିୟ କବିତା ଥିଲା। ତାର କାରଣଟା ମୁଁ କହିଦେଉଛି। what is the reason? The reason was on his table where he was sitting, Jawaharlal Nehru was sitting, where he was sitting, he was always keeping the quotation. Which was that quotation, you know? Which was that quotation? Can you tell? Anybody can tell? Miles to go before I sleep. That was the quotation. It was being kept always. Where? On the table of the late Prime Minister, one of the eminent Prime Minister, acclaimed Prime Minister, Shraddhanjali. Pinky, good evening. So what happens? Acclaimed Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. He was ତାର ଅର୍ଥ ପୋଏମ୍ ପଢ଼ିଲା ବେଳେ ମୁଁ କହିବି ତୁମମାନଙ୍କୁ। and perhaps this poem reminded him of his responsibilities. Why he was keeping? କାହିଁକି ରଖୁଥିଲେ ଜବାହରଲାଲ ନେହେରୁ, କାହିଁକି ତାଙ୍କର ଇଏରେ ରଖୁଥିଲେ? because this poem remind him his responsibility. ତାଙ୍କର ଦାୟିତ୍ୱ ସବୁ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା। এই କବିତାଟା ଏତେ ଭଲ କବିତା, ଏ କବିତା ଆମକୁ ଆମର ଦାୟିତ୍ୱ, it shows us what is our responsibility, what responsibility do we possess towards society. ସମାଜ ପାଇଁ ଆମର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ କ'ଣ, ଜୀବନ ରାସ୍ତାରେ ଆମର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ କ'ଣ। ଆକାଶ ଭାଇ ଗୁଡ୍ ଇଭିନିଂ। এই কবিতা ଆମକୁ ସୂଚାଇ ଦେଇଥାଏ। ଓକେ, and on the surface this is a simple poem. Basically this is a Raja, good evening. So what happens, this is the poem that remind us our responsibilities, and you know it is a simple poem. ବହୁତ ସାଧା poemଟା ବହୁତ ସହଜ, କିନ୍ତୁ meaning very deep. The meaning is very deep. Okay, and he takes, the poet takes the lovely scene, and near silence is tempted to stay longer, but acknowledge the pool of obligation and the considerable distance yet to be travelled before he can rest for the night. What happens? कवि कौन विषय कहते, आम जीवन यात्रा आम जीवन शेष यात्रा जावा पूर्वर आमर जो दायित्व सब संपन्न करार अच्छी, आमको जिते सब कम करार अच्छी, से सब कम विषय आमर जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी विषय ये कविताटा आमको सूचई थाए। एमती देखिले गोटे नॉर्मल पोएम भाया देखा जाउची, किंतु इट इंडिकेट्स द ह्यूमन लाइफ, इट्स नेचर एंड द वर्क्स दैट टू बी डन बाय। गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग ललित, गुड इवनिंग। सो व्हाट हैपेंस, इट इंडिकेट्स द you know core of duty of a person in life. जीवन पथरे जीवन रो कोर्स रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मनीष सब कौन करार अच्छी एटा आमको सूची था। कौटा द पोएम स्टॉपिंग बाय वुड्स ऑन ए स्नो इवनिंग। ओके, लेट अस सी व्हाट इज द पोएम स्टॉपिंग बाय वुड्स। वुड्स कहले जंगल, आम समस्त जानी। वुड्स कहले किरण, गुड 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 इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग, गुड इवनिंग। हाँ, यू आर आल्सो देयर। ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। आई एम ओवरवेल्म्ड। सो व्हाट हैपेंस, स्टॉपिंग बाय वुड्स, जंगल। स्टॉपिंग बोले नॉर्मली स्टॉप गोटे जगह अटकी जावा, वुड्स कहले जंगल। ऑन ए स्नोई इवनिंग, स्नोई स्नोई कहले तुषार, स्नो कहले तुषार तुम जान, इवनिंग कहले संध्या। एक तुषार संध्यार जंगल भितर अटकी जावा, ताको आम जीवन सहित कंपेयर करि परिबा। पिला जीवन सहित कंपेयर करि परिबा ना किभली, जते बेले हमर गोटे डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन आसे, व्हेनेवर वी कम अक्रॉस अ डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन वी स्टॉप देयर, वी थिंक वेल what to do, what not to do. You know, I've lost everything, nobody is there with me, and but I have to do lots of work. And the poem, the particular poem what I'm gonna teach you now, it tells us about all those things, that are the things. So let me start the first stanza. What is here? Whose woods these are, I think I know. Whose woods these are, I think I know, the poet is telling. कवि सीधा जंगल रू आरंभ करिसंती। जंगल माने समस्या, समस्या प्रॉब्लम। सो हुज वुड्स दीज आर, ए जंगल। अच्छा, वुड्स ऑफ फॉरेस्ट, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन वुड्स एंड फॉरेस्ट? एनीबॉडी कैन टेल मी? वुड्स एंड फॉरेस्ट, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? या, फॉरेस्ट इज स्प्रेडेड ओवर ए वास्ट एरिया, इट हैज नो लिमिटेशन एंड वाइल्ड एनिमल्स आर फाउंड देयर. बट वुड, it's also, you know, densely dense trees are there, and it is confined in a limited area. गोटे सीमित अंचल भितर किसी पथर थी पथर खंड थी शिलाखंड थी किसी गछ थी आम वुड कहूँ फरेस्ट कहले से फरेस्ट गोटे भास्ट एरिया थाए फरेस्टा गोटे भास्ट एरिया थाए आउे निश्चित भाव वन्यजंतु थे वाइल्ड एनिमल थे दैट इज योर फरेस्ट. So what happens? Whose woods these are? I think I know. The poet is telling here. Whose woods these are? ए जंगल जो वनांचलटा कहार ए वनांचलटा कहार आई थिंक आई नो से कहते मत लगुच मुझे जानी यस आई नो दैट पर्सन टू हुम द वुड्स बिलोंग्स टू बुझला. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village though, and his house is in the village though. तार घर कौटी अच्छी इन द नियर बाय विलेज पाखरे थिबा गाँव रे अवस्थित तार घर कौटी वेयर इन द हाउस यू नो वेयर द मेन हुज वुड्स इज वेयर ही वाज लिविंग इन द नियर बाय विलेज पाखरे थिबा गाँव रे रोच किए द ओनर ऑफ द लैंड द ओनर ऑफ द वुड. सो ओके यू गॉट इट. हुज वुड्स दीज आर? आई थिंक आई नो. हिज हाउस इज इन द विलेज दो. वेयर इज द हाउस? सो वेयर डिड द हाउस ओनर लिव? The house owner lived, you know, the nearby village. पाखरे थिबा गाँव से रोची. His house is in the village तो तार घरटा कौटी पाखरे थिबा गाँव रे अच्छे village तो. He will not see me stopping here. The poet is telling himself. He will not see me stopping here. से मते देखिबनी मु एठी अटकीची से मते देखिबनी काहे की what a way why did the owner of the woods will not be able to see whom? The poet. Let me tell you the answer. To watch his woods fill up with snow. To watch his woods fill up with snow. And he, the man to whom the woods belongs to, जार जंगल से जानी नहीं जे तार जो वनांचलटा सेटा स्नो रे कवर हो जाए. It was covered with snow. Yes or no? Why? What is the reason? Why he didn't know? Because he is sleeping. It is night. Good evening, Soros. Abhi say good evening. Good evening, everyone. So what happens? His house in the village, he will not see me stopping here. Will not see the poet stopping there. The owner of the house will not see whom? The poet stopping where? In between the woods. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. He has no intention, no interest at all to, you know, enjoy nature. से प्रकृति को उपभोग करी जाने ना हैं से जोने ट्रेडिशनल लोग So, you know, he is just what a business mentality and realistic people. He has no connection. Kanatri Pati, good evening. So he has no connection with nature and its beauty. He doesn't know how to enjoy. Devasis, good evening. So what happens? It doesn't enjoy, doesn't know about nature and its reality, its beauty. I don't know how to, you know, enjoy it. That's why. Where is he is at his village? Sitar gaare achi. Okay, to watch his woods fill up with snow. And now here what happens? Chanda, good evening beta. Chanda, to watch his woods fill up with snow. To watch his woods fill up with snow. Aw ethi tar jungle. Which chapter? Yeah, this is stopping by woods on a snow evening. Stopping by woods on a snow evening. To watch his woods fill up with snow. तार जंगल तार जो वनांचलटा तुषारपात होकर धड़ा देखा जाऊँच. गुड इवनिंग भूमिकांत, गुड इवनिंग. आउ सीटा देखापी से नाई से जो ओनर से वनांचल ओनर मालिक से सेठी नाही. नो इज नॉट देयर एट ऑल. इज नॉट देयर एट ऑल. संबित, गुड इवनिंग. गुड इवनिंग. होप यू आर डूइंग वेल. माय लिटिल हॉर्स मस्ट थिंक इट क्वेर. Play the challenge. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So my little horse must think it queer, and my little horse more goda must think it queer. Queer, Q-U-E-E-R. Queer means strange. More goda ta bhi आश्चर्य होच. Yes, he is also, you know, strange. Which chapter? Yes, it is stopping by woods on a snow evening. Beta, hope you are wondering. So my little horse. Now the author is telling about his horse. तांको घोड़ा विषय कहते कौन कहते माय लिटिल हॉर्स मस्ट थिंक इट क्वीर. मस्ट थिंक इट क्वीर. क्वीर मीन्स स्ट्रेंज. Q-U-E-E-R. क्वीर मीन्स स्ट्रेंज. मोर घोड़ा आश्चर्य होचे. कहीं आश्चर्य होचे? व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड इज क्वीर? लेट अस सी. To stop without a farmhouse near. Why? To stop without a farmhouse near. କାରଣ ପାଖରେ କୌଣସି ଫାର୍ମ ହାଉସ୍ ନାହିଁ। ମୁଁ ଘୋଡ଼ା ଜାଣେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ଯେବେ ଅଟକେ ଫାର୍ମ ହାଉସ୍ ପାଖରେ ଅଟକେ। If I stop, I'll stop near the farmhouse. But today, exactly on that particular day, when I was there in between the wood, at that time there was no farmhouse. That's why my horse is, queer. It's strange, feeling strange. Who is feeling strange? The horse. It said, yes, my little horse. ଘୋଡ଼ାଟାକୁ ଲିଟିଲ୍ ବୋଲି କାହିଁ କୁହାଯାଇଛି? ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ କ୍ରିଏଚର୍ ବୋଲି କାହିଁ କୁହାଯାଇଛି? କାରଣ এই ଜାଗାରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରକୃତିର କଥା ପଡ଼ିଛି, ଗୋଟେ ପଶୁ ପ୍ରକୃତିକୁ ଏନ୍ଜୟ କରିପାରିବନି, ପ୍ରକୃତି ବିଷୟରେ ତାର କିଛି ଜ୍ଞାନ ନାହିଁ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ୱାଇ ଇଟ୍ସ କଲ୍ଡ ଚାପ୍ଟର ନମ୍ବର। Chapter is, stepping by woods on a snowy evening, the, fourth point. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Why? Again, I'm asking, why does the, poet's horse thinks it queer? Because he had stopped near a farmhouse. Aju, good evening. There was no farmhouse at all. Sorry. There was no farmhouse at all. That's why the horse takes it as a queer, as a strange point. Between the woods and frozen lake, and where I was, DS Gamer, good evening. So where I was between the woods and frozen lake, between the woods and frozen lake, jung ବନାଞ୍ଚଳର ମଝିରେ फ्रोजेन लेकटा पूरा फ्रीज हो जाइए, बरफ जमी जाइए, पानी पूरा बरफ हो जाइए और मु से पाखे ठिया है। इट वाज वेरी डार्क एंड इट वाज वेरी डार्क। ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाई व्हाट हैपेंस बिटवीन द वुड्स एंड फ्रोजेन लेक, बिटवीन द वुड्स एंड फ्रोजेन लेक, वनांचल मझिरे, वनांचल फर्स्ट ईयर डीएस गेमर, इट इज फर्स्ट ईयर। सो व्हाट हैपेंस between the woods and frozen lake. Oh, please show and screenshot. Yeah, it's stepping by woods on a snowy evening. I have written, the title. You can see it. So what happens between the woods and frozen lake? Between the woods, jungle or majire, frozen lake side re, frozen lake, जमी जाइथिबा ह्रद, लेक कहले ह्रद, फ्रोजेन मीन्स इट इज फ्रीज्ड, बरफ जमी जाइछि ह्रदरे। शीत दिन तुम जानी बरफ जमी जाए इंग्लैंड रे, अमेरिका रे, हैं तो सेठी कौन है, बरफ जमी जाइछि, जंगल भितर कवि ठिया होइचंती, आ से जंगल मझिरे गोटे फ्रोजेन लेक अच्छी साइड रे, एपटे गछ सब अच्छी, घंच जंगल अच्छी, से मझिरे कवि ठिया हो जाइछंती। ठीक अच्छी, बिटवीन द वुड्स एंड फ्रोजेन लेक, सो यू कैन टेक दिस इज व्हाट you can compare this, woods and first year. Kana, this is first year. Okay, the darkest evening of the year, and between the woods and frozen lake, and the darkest evening of the year, and it was considered that day, that night was considered one of the darkest evening of the year. Se barshar सबुठारो अंधारिया दिन थिला. It was the darkest evening. अच्छा, darkest evening बोली कहीं की कॉल, why it is told? I knew it was freezing outside. It was very wintry and chilly. Yes or no? And if haze is there, कुहुड़ी जदि पड़े, तुषार जदि पड़े, हमारा आँखी को कम देखा जाए. That's why it is called, and I'll tell you later why it is told by the poet. So what happens? The darkest evening of the year, he gives his harness bell a shake. He, personification of horse, देखिबा हमें समझते, personification of horse, घोड़ाटा को मनुष्य सहित एठी तुलना करा जाय जी, ही व्यवहार है जी, हिटा पर्सनल प्रोनाउन. फ्रोजन लेक, बरफ पहाड़, यस, बरफर ह्रद. So my little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year, and it was the darkest evening of the year, and I have stopped in between a, in between a, or near a frozen lake. No farmhouse was there, nothing was there, no symbol, people so deserted, nobody is here, and I'm standing alone in between the forest. That's why we're standing at streams, we're taking it streams. Yeah, it was being taken streams by my horse, my little horse, the animal that has no sense of nature, who cannot understand why I'm standing there and he doesn't know that what happens, that I enjoy, a poet can only enjoy the beauty of nature at that site, and this is not a matter of an animal, because animal has no brain to understand the beauty of nature. Okay, he gives his harness bell, तार जो लगाम रे लगी थी बेल, तार जो बेकर घोड़ा बेकर लगी थी घंटी, घंटी की टिके हले देला कि घोड़ा तापस आउ 10 to 15 minutes with the class सरवा. So what happens? He gives his harness bell a shake. He gives his harness bell a shake. तार जो घोड़ार बेकर जो घंटी लगुतला से घंटी को हले देला कि हलेला घोड़ाटा हले देला काहे कि हलेला why the reason was he wanted to ask question to his master. Hey master, why did you stop here? There is no farmhouse at all. Huh? Do you stop here unknowingly? अजना भावे तुम रहीगल कि तुम किसी समस्या हेछि कि? Who is asking this question? This question is being asked by the horse. And how is asking? Is asking by what dangling his harness bell. तारा से बेकर लगी घंटी टाकू हले दे से प्रश्न करुछि. किए प्रश्न करुछि? घोड़ा प्रश्न करुछि. काहाकू प्रश्न करुछि रे पिले? मालिक को प्रश्न करुछि, रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट को प्रश्न करुछि. एठी this can be compared with the life of a man. This can be compared to the life of a student. This can be compared with anyone else. Thank you, Mimikant. Thank you. It is, thank you. You all students who are watching are good students. That's why you are telling so. Thank you very much. And I'm taking the classes because of you only, beta. All the students, I love my students, and all the students are watching. That's why I'm taking the regular classes, and I'll continue till which time I don't know, but I'll continue the classes, even if grammar classes will be there. Okay, so what happens? He gives more personification. He is the personal pronoun. Yes or no? Pronouns. Pronouns. What is a pronoun? Pronouns are those words. And words that are used instead of noun. They're called pronoun. Pronouns are 8 types in English, and you can say pronoun also can be divided into 2 types. Personal pronoun and impersonal pronoun. So forget that. Prakash Mani, good evening. So here he is your personal third person, personal pronoun. So he gives his harness bell a shake. Harness bell. तार जो बेकार घंटी कुटी के हले देला किए हले देला घोड़ाटा हले देला कौन करवा पाए प्रश्न पचारा तार मालिक को सार आम ये कहीं अटकी गले तो पिले आमे भी जिते बड़े काम करू बाटर अटकी जाए आम विवेक आमको कहे अरे तू जो करुचु कामटा भल करुचु ना भूल करुचु तर्जमा कर आम जिते बड़े पढ़ू न पढ़ी बेसी समय नष्ट करू आम विवेक आमको प्रश्न करे तू जहाँ करुचु भल करुचु तो ये घोड़ा किए रे पिले घोड़ा हूँ आम विवेक आवर कन्सियन्स आम जीवन में आम समस्त गोटे विवेक अच्छी से विवेक वर्ल्ड बेस्ट स्टेटस गुड इवनिंग से आमको प्रश्न करे जे आम जो काम करुचे से भल करुचे ना भूल करुचे किसी लोग शुणी के सुधरी जाती बदली जाती आ किसी लोग जो बाटे जाऊ था से बाट को बाछी नहीं कि ध्वंसाभिमुखी हो जाती. So this is what the poet has taken here as horse. Horse is the conscience of the person. Horse is the conscience of Robert Frost. And his conscience is asking Robert Frost, Mr. Frost, where you are stopping now? Is it the right place to stop? विवेक प्रश्न करुच्ची घाकू रबर्ट फ्रस्ट को तुम जो अटकी जाइए तुम ये अटकवा दरकार कि आउरी किसी काम नहीं कि तुम अनेक काम अच्छी बहुत काम अच्छी तुम करने तुम ये कहीं अटकी जाइछ. तो घोड़ाटा को आम इनानिमेट थिंग्स को माने सेमती घोड़ा घोड़ा बोली बुझे हम नहीं. यस नो दिस इज आवर कन्सियंस आमर जो भल आमर पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट अच्छी नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट अच्छी. सो द हॉर्स इज हियर टेकन एट द पॉजिटिव aspect of human being. To ask if there is some mistake. Why does he ask? Why does the horse ask? The horse asks to know if any mistake is being done by his master. घोड़ा कहीं पचारा घोड़ा कहीं पचारा रॉबर्ट फ्रस्ट को जे तुम ये कहीं अटकीच घोड़ा ये पचारा जे तार मालिक किसी भूल करना तो से किसी भूल करना तो ये अटकी जीवन पथरे जाऊ जाऊ से जो अटकी जाइए एटा लास्ट डेस्टिनेशन नुह तो अनेक पथ बाकी अच्छी अनेक आगू को जबार अच्छी ये मो मालिक कहीं अटकी गले हु इज आस्किंग The horse is asking. The conscience of Robert Frost is asking to Mr. Robert Frost, where have you stopped? Is it the right place for you to stop here? That's why you are stopping here. Who is asking? Who is asking? The conscience of Robert Frost is asking. To whom? To himself. So here, the horse is the conscience. Vivek. तो घोड़ा पचारिला कौन पचारिला? To ask if there is some mistake. Hey master, have you done any mistake? Have you taken it, as you have thought it your farmers and that's why you are stepping here? Is it a mistake being done by yourself? The only other sound, this was the sound of harness bell sound thila. Next sound कौन thila? The only other sound, the sweep of easy wind and down a flake. And except the sound of harness bell ro sound छाड़ी करी आउ को sound thila. The easy wind সেই সুলসুলিয়া পবনর শব্দ থিলা ডাউনি ফ্লেক कहले पत्र फ्लेक कहले एठी पत्र तळकु sweep means the only other sound of easy wind and downy flake. Where there is no sweep, I don't think there is any word that is sweep. Is there any word like sweep? Between the woods and frozen the darkest time he gives to ask. I don't know. There is no sweep in that poem. And SWIP, is it a word that you are asking about? So the only other sounds, the sweep, 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 झाड़ू मारिबा भलिया शब्द से पत्र पड़िले जो झाड़ू मारिबा भलिया शब्द खड़खड़ शब्द होतिला. Devasis, okay, I'll try at 7:30 p.m. Okay, every day I'll try to take class. Regular classes will be there. So the only other sounds is what? The sweep of easy wind. सुलसुलिया पवन, easy wind, धीरे धीरे बहुत हुआ, धीरे पवन. Easy wind and downy flake. And what? Downy flake. तळुकु जाउथुवा, निम्नगामी होउथुवा पत्रर शब्द, खड़खड़ शब्द. सेई शब्द सब शोभा जाउथुला. ठीक अछि. So what other sounds were there? No other sounds. The sounds that the poet was listening were what? First one is the sound of harness bell, and second one is the sound of easy wind and downy flake. Only two sounds. Okay, easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. Look at the stanza, life transforming stanza. This is the most important stanza. To end year classes, I have already taken those classes. Students are there, they have already come to the college. Okay, I'll try online class. Okay, Bhupender, okay, we'll go for online grammar class. Okay, I have missing a blackboard. There is no blackboard. I have not got any blackboard. That's why I'm not taking grammar classes. And grammar classes, I need a blackboard to take grammar classes, online grammar classes. That's why I'm not taking. Okay, but okay, we'll go for grammar classes. Okay, I'll make you understand in my way. Hope you can understand my problem. That's why I have no blackboard. A little blackboard is there, and I don't think that is good for the students. Without blackboard, it's hard to understand. Okay, I'll take grammar classes. Okay, because you are requesting, I'll take grammar classes. And tell me in the comment section whatever chapter you need, and I'll go for those classes. So the woods are lovely, dark and deep. This is the most important and life transforming stanza of this poem. Remember this. Always remember this stanza. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. Problem is not a problem unless you see the problem as a problem. Remember this stanza. Problem is not a problem unless you see the problem as a problem. And the biggest problem in life is to find the solution. Once you'll find the solution, there will be no problem. Remember this. So जीवन समस्या आसव समस्या समस्या नुहे जो पर्यंत आम समस्या को समस्या भाव नवा ना ये सुनो समस्या समस्या नुहे आम जो पर्यंत समस्या को समस्या भाव नवा ना प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम अनलेस यू टेक द प्रॉब्लम एज अ प्रॉब्लम एंड द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इन लाइफ जीवन सबुठार बड़ समस्या हूँ व्हाट दैट टू फाइंड द सॉल्यूशन वंस यू फाइंड द सॉल्यूशन Once you find the solution, what will happen? There will be no problem. So don't think problem as a problem. Problem is what? Problem is the life transforming events. Zoom it. Okay, I'll try. Okay, I'll try to take Zoom it classes. So, but I have promises to keep. Kurupis, good evening. So the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Woods are lovely, dark and deep. समस्या एंजॉयबल नहीं वुड्स आर लवली जंगलटा बहुत सुंदर लगुच रे समस्या को किए पॉजिटिवली नौची किए नेगेटिवली नौची हो ना नहीं तो वुड्स आर लवली डार्क एंड डीप वुड्स आर लवली डार्क एंड डीप जो वनांचल ओके I'll try Devasis I'll try I'm not being assigned by the college authority to take Zoom in class because I'm not assigned for first year. I'm taking only second year classes. I'm taking, by the request of the students, maximum students, my subscribers, they have requested me to take classes, live classes. That's why I'm taking, and because of you, I'm able to take those live classes because I have crossed more than 2,000 subscribers. Okay, so that's why I'm taking those classes, and I hope all the students who are watching, they are my subscriber. Wow, what are the questions, Sambit? You can ask any question related to your chapter. You are free to ask any question. Okay, in between the class, you can ask anybody who wants to class. They can comment me. I'll give you answer. So, but woods are lovely, dark and deep. Woods are lovely, dark and deep. जंगलटा सुंदर अंधकारमय घंच मध्य जीवनटा सुंदर जंगलटा सुंदर अंधकारमय एटी जीवन शेक माने हलिबा ओके महेश बोई गुड इवनिंग सो व्हाट हैपेंस द वुड्स आर लवली डार्क एंड डीप जीवन वुड्स कहले जीवन रे पिले एठी वुड्स कहले एक्चुअली जंगल किंतु पोएम रो आमे मीनिंग की जदि देखबा वुड्स कहले कोन जीवन व्हाट इज वुड डिफरेंट फ्रॉम फॉरेस्ट okay Bapi listen what is the difference between wood and forest I'm telling you again I have already told you but I'm telling woods is there in a limited area wood कहले वनांचल गोटे लिमिटेड एरिया भितर किसी गछ थाए किसी पत्थर थाए और सेटा जने लोकर ही थाए सेटा को ताको वुड कहू सो वुड इज स्प्रेड इन अ लिमिटेड एरिया हैविंग डेंस ट्रीज ओके and forest has no restriction of area. Remember, forest has no restriction of area, and the most important sector that we found inside a forest, that is what, that is the wild animals. Forest wild वन्य प्राणी माने थामते फॉरेस्ट रे कोन वन्य प्राणी माने थामती वुड रे वन्य प्राणी थामती नाही ठीक अछि आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड सो द वुड्स आर लवली डार्क एंड डीप वुड्स आर लवली डार्क एंड डीप जंगल वनांचल सुंदर बहुत सुंदर डार्क अंधकारमय डीप घंच बहुत घंच बट आई हैव प्रोमिसेस टू कीप गुड इवनिंग कपिल एंड आई हैव प्रोमिसेस टू कीप लुक एट दिस टांजा आई हैव प्रोमिसेस टू कीप मते बहुत काम करिवार अछि आई हैव लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग टू डू आई हैव ए लिटिल स्पैन ऑफ टाइम टू लिव वो बहुत कम समय बंचिबी एंड विद इन दैट स्पैन ऑफ टाइम वी हैव टू डू लॉट्स ऑफ वर्क आई हैव टू डू लॉट्स ऑफ वर्क आई हैव लॉट्स ऑफ वर्क Good evening, Kanchan. Good evening. So what happens? I have lots of promises to keep. I have duty towards my study. I have duty towards my family. I have obedience towards my parents. I have obedience towards my son. I have duty towards my son. I have lots of work to do. Yes or no? No problem. Life, problem will be there, difficult situation will be there. It doesn't mean I'll change myself, I'll stop anywhere else. It doesn't mean I have to work and work. Yes or no? I have to work to crush the situation, to crush the situation, to fulfill the core of my duty, I have to work. Yes or no? So what is telling here? What is being told by the poet? And but I have promises to keep. Woods are lovely, dark and deep. समस्या बहुत आसुची जीवन रे. समस्या तो आसीबो. समस्या आसीबो. समस्या को I have told you what, think positively and positive will come to you. Think positively and positive will come to you. आमे जदि positively नबा सब जिनस positive हे जीवो. आमे जदि negatively नबा सब जिनस negative हे जीवो. So it's depend what आदमी तन से विकलांग नहीं होता, आदमी मन से विकलांग होता है. A person is not handicapped by physically, he is handicapped mentally. Remember these words. A person is not handicapped physically, a person is handicapped mentally. If you are mentally handicapped, then you are completely handicapped. Remember this. आदमी का सोच आदमी को बदल देता है. जैसा सोच उतना सक्सेस. If you think high, you'll get, you can see Arunima Singh, Kalpana Chawla, they belongs to small villages, but still you can understand what I'm telling. Yes or no? Kalpana Chawla, a girl from Karnal, situated, went to America and became the first astronaut to enter. Yes or no? Went to the space. She belongs to a little village of India. You don't know. If you will find in the map of India, you will not get that village Karnal. If you will search for half an hour, you will not get that village name Karnal. But everybody knows. Yes or no? Kalpana Chawla. Why? Because of her attitude. Yes or no? Because of her attitude. Because of her self-confidence. That's why she became the first Indian woman to become astronaut. Went to space. सुनीता विलियम, अरुणिमा सिंह, आप लोगों को पता होगा. अरुणिमा, डू यू नो अरुणिमा सिंह? A girl, a 19-year-old girl, she was just going to attend the hockey selection league in New Delhi, and she was being snatched by a group of snatcher. Was being thrown out from the train. She just, got an accident. She had, 26 fracture on her body. She was being taken to the hospital. She was there for 17 hours. The mouse, they are just, sucking the bloods of that lady. And in that situation, what do we think? We might have think, if I might have been there, I might have thought, why should I not die? But in that situation, what did the lady do? She केबे निजर मेंटालिटी को वीक हेबा पई दे नामते. से जेतेबेले हॉस्पिटल को गले ठीक हला पर when she was being asked by her elder sister, what do you want to do when you will be okay? She told, I want to climb Mount Everest. I want to climb Mount Everest. These are the words of Arunima Singh. 3 मास पर मेडिकल रू से रिलीज हेले. She was being released from the medical after 3 months of treatment, having 157 stitches and 26 bone fracture. And 2 legs are being cut down. 2टा गोड़ कटा ହେଇଗଲା. ତାଙ୍କର 2ଟା ଗୋड़ कटा ହେଇଗଲା. गुड इवनिंग बलराम. गोड़ कटा ହେଇଗଲା. प्रोस्थेसिस लेग लागिला, प्लास्टिक गोड़ लागिला. बचेंद्री पाल पाखु गले. बचेंद्री पाल तांको प्रश्न कला, व्हाट यू वांट टू बी? तुम कौन करिबो? मु एवरेस्ट चढ़ीबी. लुक एट द confidence. Yes, this is what we call the confidence. And what matters in life? Confidence matters. Bachendri Pal replied, and with those prosthesis leg, if the lady wanted to climb, Mount Everest, that's all. Yeah, that's all. So this is what we call attitude. This is what we call attitude, isn't it? This is what we call attitude. This is what we call. Yes, she went Segale. But I have promises to keep. So let us finish the point. So the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Woods are lovely, dark and deep. Jungle ta, जीवन टा, jungle सहित जीवन को compare करते पिले. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. Jungle ବନାଞ୍ଚଳଟା ସୁନ୍ଦର, ଅନ୍ଧକାରମୟ ଏବଂ ଘଞ୍ଚ ମଧ୍ୟ. But I have promises to keep. ମୋତେ ବହୁତ କାମ କରିବାର ଅଛି. ମୋ ଜୀବନରେ ସମସ୍ୟା ବହୁତ ଅଛି. I have lots of problem, but I have to do lots of work. मत बहुत काम करिवार अछि, मत बहुत काम करिवार अछि. I have to achieve my goal. मु तुमको चारटा वर्ड कहबी प्ले. Remember these 4 words. Note it down if you have pen and paper. Clarity, consistency, review, and improve. What are those 4 words? Yeah, I'll go for question answer. Sambit, don't worry. I'll go for question answer. Okay, let me complete the poem. So remember these 4 words. I'm telling you: clarity, consistency, review, and improve. These are the 4 words. Okay, clarity towards goal. निजर लक्ष्य को पाइबा पई क्लियर विजन थिबा दरकार. Clarity, consistency, and you should do constant effort to get that goal. से लक्ष्य को पाइबा पई constant effort दरकार, constancy दरकार. Review, then you must review yourself. What you are doing, you must review yourself. Review करो. Yes, review yourself. What you are doing, whether you should do that. करिबा कथा ना. Got a sentence. There is a sentence. I've got that sentence. That's why I'm telling. We must do what is right, not what is easy. Remember this. We must do what is right, not what is easy. But what we are doing, we are getting busy doing what is easy. Write down. We must do what is right, not what is easy. What we are doing what is easy, and we are doing, we are getting busy doing what is easy. We are getting busy doing what is easy. Review, bale पुनरावृत्ति करिबा. So you can say पुनरावृत्ति. So but I have promises to keep. So मते प्रतिज्ञा रक्षा करिवार अछि. I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep. Before I sleep. Sleep कहले कौन पिले सोइबा. Sleep कहले सोइबा की. No, this is not what we are calling sleep. Sleep means एठी कौन रेस्ट नवा मरिबा. आमको मरिबा पूर्व बहुत काम करिवार अछि. We have to do lots of work. We have to do lots of work before we leave that world. पृथ्वी छाड़िबा पूर्व बहुत काम करिबा अछि. आ गोटे सेंटेंस मन रखिबा. Be an extraordinary person in this ordinary world that people will remember you. What? Be an extraordinary person in this ordinary world that people will remember you. जदि लोकंक मनरे निजको रखिबा पई चाहुचो. Okay, it's not going. Voice is not going. Is it? It's okay. Okay na? Okay, you can hear me. So what happens? But I promise, and miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep. Okay. So miles to go before I sleep. मु मरिबा पूर्व मत बहुत काम करिवार अछि. I have to do lots of work. मत बहुत काम करिवार अछि. Okay, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. समस्तों को काम करिवार अछि. समस्तों को काम करिवार अछि. समस्तों को निजर ड्यूटी करिवार अछि. कोनोसी भी कंडीशन रे हमको ड्यूटी करिवार अछि. आई होप यू एंजॉयड द पोएम निश्चित भाव भल लागिथिबो. क्वेश्चन आंसर डिस्कस करिवा ना नहीं. ओके, लेट्स हैव अ डिस्कशन ऑफ द क्वेश्चन आंसर. हाउ इज वुड्स डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द फॉरेस्ट. हाउ इज वुड्स डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द फॉरेस्ट. जंगलटा फॉरेस्ट ठारू किपरि डिफरेंट. मु तुमको आगु कहि सारछि, तथापि हम कहूछि. वुड मीन्स ग्रोइंग ट्रीज डेंसली ऑक्युपाइंग ए ट्रेस ऑफ प्लांट्स. गोटे लिमिटेड एरिया रे किछि गछ बढ़ी जाइतिले ताको हमें वुड बोली कहूछु. आउ फॉरेस्ट कहले फॉरेस्ट हैज नो लिमिटेशन ऑफ एरिया. फॉरेस्ट हैज नो लिमिटेशन ऑफ एरिया and wild animals are found in forest. This is the difference between woods and smaller than a forest. Sambit, very good Sambit, very good. Smaller than a forest. Then where does the writer stop? Where does the writer stop? Writer kouti atki gale. Where does the writer stop? The writer stop between the woods and the frozen lake. Remember, the writer stop between the woods and the frozen lake. Kouti rahi gale? Woods and the frozen lake. Se jami thiba hrodo au jangalo majire rahile. Kiye? The writer stops between the woods and the frozen lake. Why does he stop? Se kahinki rahile? Rohan, good evening, nice to see you here. Why does he stop? Why does the writer stop? Kahinki se kabi atki gale? He stopped to watch and admire the beauty of the nature. He stops, writer stops to admire the beauty of the nature. प्रकृतिर रूप को प्रशंसा करबा पाई प्रकृति को उपभोग करबा पाई सी अटकी गले किए अटकी गले रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट द राइटर ओके क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 he will not see me stopping here what does this expression means he will not stop me not see me stopping here यार अर्थ कौन the line stand for the question stand for the owner of the woods से जो जंगल रो मालिक तांको पई की ए जिनसटा व्यवहार करा हैतला so the expression says that the owner of the woods would not see the poet stopping in the woods would not see sir what is the writer name okay Robert Frost the writer is Robert Frost okay so what happens the owner of the house will not see the writer is not there to see the writer stopping in between his woods okay why does the horse give his harness bell a shake why does the writer give his harness bell a shake घोड़ा कहीं की तार लगाम टाकू हलेला what is the reason okay so let us see the question the horse gives his harness bell a shake मु तुमको कहि उत्तर लिखिला बेले प्रश्नर किछि अंश लिखिबो तापर उत्तरटा लिखिबो so the horse gives his harness bell a shake to inform the poet to yes poet if he had wrong so bells a shake to inform the poet if he had any mistake फार्म हाउस नहीं देखिए हाँ यस सो स्टॉपिंग बाय मिस्टेक एनी मिस्टेक जदि से किसी अजीत गॉड ब्लेस यू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन व्हाट इज द ओनली अदर साउंड बिसाइड दैट ऑफ हार्नेस बेल छड़ा आउ कौन शब्द सब शुभुला दुईटा शब्द कौन शुभुला किए कहि परिबो दुईटा टू साउंड्स वेर देयर एक्सेप्ट द साउंड ऑफ हार्नेस बेल there were two sounds what are those sounds who can tell me what are those sounds except those sound of harness bell yes sweep up easy wind yeah you are correct bapi very good beta very good so sweep up easy wind सुलसुलिया पवनर शब्द and downy flake झड़ी पड़ुथुवा पत्र मानकर शब्द सब होतला okay these are the 2 points so what were the other sound except the harness bell sweep up easy wind and downy flake yes easy wind and downy flake okay why does the poet use the expression dark deep and darkest why does Chanda good yes beta yes you are correct Chanda you are correct so why does the poet use the expression dark deep darkest in the poem dark deep Shambit yes you are correct a dark deep or darkest kahin ki व्यवहार करछन्ति कवि what is the reason behind using dark deep and darkest the poet uses the expression deep dark and darkest to match with the nature से समय जो प्रकृतिर छवि थिला भूपेंद्र यू करेक्ट से समय जो प्रकृतिर छवि थिला से प्रकृतिर छवि को आंकिबा पाई जाईकरी कवि कोन कहिसंती he has used the jungle was yes he has used deep dark and darkest how do the speaker the owner of the woods and the horse react to the beauties of nature dark too yes तो वर्तमान तीन जनकर आम रिएक्शन देखिबा कार ओनर जमी मालिक एक घोड़ा एवं कवि तीन जनकर रिएक्शन कोन थिला what are the reaction of those three towards that beauty of nature let us see first we'll go to the speaker he was a lover of nature प्रकृति किसे भल पाउतले and he was enjoying the scenery of what frozen lake downy flake and that dark and stormy night he was enjoying that yes or no yeah next the owner of the house has no reaction at all yes or no has no reaction he is very realistic he is very realistic isn't it and materialistic also and he is also materialistic and profit motivated he is also profit motivated taku profit darkar only the poet attract yes so he is profit motivated realistic realistic also okay the last one who is the last one the the horse, as you know, it is an animal. The horse is just an animal. He has not at all any reaction towards the beauty of nature. You are just confused by my master stopped here. There is no work of my master, that's why stepping there. There is not at all any farmhouse or nothing is here. So he has no reaction because he has no brain to think about all those things, and he can't enjoy the beauty of nature, etc., etc. There's a leg down like sweepy is and Babi Pana, you're correct. Okay, next, what picture of natural beauty do you get from the poem? What picture of natural beauty do you get from the poem? A kavitaru तमे नेचर रो को जिनस पाउछ, नेचर रो ब्यूटी, नेचर रो सौंदर्य विषय को जिनसटा पाउछ, व्हाट यू आर गेटिंग, हैं व्हिच पिक्चर, व्हाट पिक्चर ऑफ नेचुरल ब्यूटी डू यू गेट फ्रॉम द पोएम? पोएम रू ए कविता रू नेचुरल ब्यूटी प्रकृतिर को सौंदर्य विषय तमे जानिबा को पाउछ, व्हाट यू आर गेटिंग. ओके, सो यू कैन से द सेंस ऑफ ब्यूटी डिफर्स फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. द सेंस ऑफ ब्यूटी, oh sorry, there was a poor connection was there. Okay, so sense of beauty differs from person to person. Person to person, आउ जनक ठारू जनक एटा थाए वर्ड्स प्रेजेंट लाइक यस. So it differs from person to person. कौन होता है? Person to person. And yeah, the poet fell in love with the nature, fell in love with the nature. कवि कौन करचंती प्रकृति को भल पाई बसचंती, हो कि नहीं? Beauty of the woods and snow evening, and he is enjoying the beauty of woods and snow evening. Snow evening से तुषारिया संध्या अंधारुआ संध्या को से उपभोग करुचंते के the poet. And he was also enjoying the sight of the frozen lake. से जमी जाइथिबा ह्रद को भी से उपभोग करुचंते. He is enjoying the sights, the scene of the frozen lake. Yes or no? And also the sound of easy wind and down flake and deep forest. The sound of easy wind, down flake and deep forest is enjoying all those things, all the aspect of nature being enjoyed by the poet. कवि को द्वारा से सबू को उपभोग करा होचे. Okay. Okay, question number 10. Question number 10. What is the question? In the final stanza, the speaker says that he is not yet ready to sleep. What has he to do before he can take rest? Yeah, yes. Every story is, fascinating. We have to enjoy only. Yes or no? Look at this. So, the question number 10. In the final stanza, the speaker says that he is not yet ready to sleep. Santanu, you are correct. Here the poet fell in love. Okay, ready to sleep. What has he to do before he can take rest? Kobi rest neba porboru. Bapi, you are correct. Rest neba porboru. Kona sabu kariba pai chamte. Kona sabu kariba pai chamte. So, look at this. The poet says he is not yet ready to sleep. The poet says, Kabi kon koi he is not yet ready to sleep. Why? Because he has promises to keep. कारण तांको बहुत काम करिवार अछि टू फुलफिल विश एम्बिशन ड्रीम्स एंड प्रॉमिसेस बिफोर. यस, यू करेक्ट. बापी, गुड बेटा, यू आर डूइंग वेल, वेरी गुड, आई अप्रिशिएट यू. ओके, ही प्रॉमिसेस टू कीप. ही हैड स्माइल्स टू गो बिफोर ही स्लीप. बिफोर भूपेंद्र, या सो ही हैड माइल्स टू गो बिफोर ही स्लीप. तांको बहुत काम, तांको दुनिया छाड़ी के जीवा पूर्व तांको बहुत काम करिवार अछि. ही हैड लॉट्स ऑफ वर्क टू डू. बहुत काम करिवार अछि. काहू? कविं को. ही फिनिश्ड हिज वर्क. संबित, यस, ही हैड टू फिनिश हिज वर्क. तांको बहुत काम करिवार अछि. ओके, क्वेश्चन नंबर 11. क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 इज व्हाट डज द एक्सप्रेशन द डार्केस्ट इवनिंग ऑफ द ईयर आम कौन बुझुछु? सजेस्ट. डज इट मीन द लंगेस्ट नाइट ऑफ द ईयर? तार अर्थ सबुठार लंबा राति की? और द मोस्ट डिप्रेसिंग स्टेट ऑफ माइंड कि विषादग्रस्त अवस्था, मस्तिष्कर विषादग्रस्त अवस्था विषय कवि कहते. गिव ए रिजन आंसर. रिजन आंसर बोले कौन? तुम प्रश्नर उत्तर यथार्थता प्रतिपादन कर. सो वी कैन से द डार्केस्ट इवनिंग ऑफ द ईयर रेफर्स टू द लंगेस्ट नाइट ऑफ द ईयर. कहीं व्हाई? ऑल द स्टूडेंट मस्ट आस्क व्हाई. कहीं लंगेस्ट नाइट को ये कहगला, डिप्रेस स्टेट ऑफ माइंड को कहीं कहगला? Because the reason is here we are studying, or we are reading about what the winter night. आमे गोटे शीतुआ रातिर कथा पढ़ुछु. Yes or no? We are, reading about a wintry night. We are studying about a wintry night, and normally the winter nights are very long. Winter night are very long. बहुत लंबा होता है. शीत ऋतु लंबा होता है ना नहीं. ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେଇଟା କୁହାଯାଇଛି. Number 12, last question. A 4-line stanza is called quatrain. A 4-line stanza को कौन कहा जाए? Quatrain कहा जाए. So how many quatrains are there in the poem? How many quatrains are there in the poem? এই poem रे केतेटा quatrain ଅଛି? କିଏ କହିପାରିବ? Who can tell me? 4 quatrains. You are correct. Santanu, yes, beta, yes. There are 4 quatrains. So what do you think? I'll complete the class or I'll go for some more question. Thank you. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow at 7:30 again, and I hope all the students will be there. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Good night.